Alright, so on today's episode, I'm going to get my Aeroponic easy cloner system set up. This is kind of what it looks like, the components there. It's the top, the reservoir. These are the misters down here. And then this will hook up to my pump. So what I want to do is put a nutrient solution in this reservoir that's around, I don't know, 250 parts per million. So very low, just enough for when the clones start to make roots, for them to suck up a bit of nutrients. This can right here is a 1000% solution. So I want to dilute it by 10 times at first, see what the ppm's at, and then I'll see how much I need to dilute it from there to get to my 250 ppms. Got my measuring cup here, so I'm gonna measure out 1 liter. Boom. All right, that goes in there. And then on here, I'm gonna bring it up to the 10-liter mark, so dilute it by 10 times. This is my pure rainwater going straight in. All right, so that's at 10 liters there. Let's check the ppms. $537. Okay, so I want to dilute it by about 100% more. So I'm gonna bring it up to 20 liters and we'll check the ppms then. So 20 liters brings it up to like the brim of that bucket there, but let's see what it's sitting at for the parts per million. $300. So I might add just a couple more liters to that, and I think it'll be right at where I want it to be. So let's go add this over to the reservoir. All right, I got all the water in here. Let's check the ppm in the reservoir just to be sure. 275. That's a number that I like. I'm gonna keep it right there. That's good. All right, next step, I'm gonna grab my pump here, switch it over to the other system. This pump is the Eco 396. Found the box for it. 396 stands for 396 gallon per hour. So I found that this pump works best for this size of a system. And I use these pumps all over the place. I've got them in my hydroponic sandbox. I've got them in my hydroponic Dutch bucket system. These are great little pumps. So let's attach it here to the nozzles. This kind of just spins on here like that. All right, and that's all there is to it. Throw the lid on here and let's get some plants in there. I'm heading up on the roof to get some clones, some tomato clones. Got some of that nutrient water. I've got a clean, fresh razor. Let's see what we got up here. The variety I was looking for is called Muscovich. It's an indeterminate variety, but it has a really short growing length, like 60 days. So I want to start taking clones off that one first. We're sitting here, it's just about July. It's June 30th, and I've got about, 2 or 3 months left, but I'd still want to have a variety that will be done before the bad weather comes. So where are we at here? All right, here's a Muscovich. So to find a sucker, you look for the main stem here, and you look for anything that branches off. So actually this originally was a sucker that has just gotten huge. This is a sucker, you know, this would be the main stem here. So I've got a ton of suckers on this thing, and I'm just gonna start going at it, get a few of them. So I do want to leave a couple of them because I want to see what happens if I grow an indeterminate tomato without pruning too heavily. So let's grab this one. This one looks good. This sucker there. So I got all my little net cups in the cloning machine. So what these things look like. So you got your net cup here, and then you got your little disc, your little foam disc. And these net cups normally come like this, and what I did is I cut out the bottom because it's a lot easier to get the plants out once they've rooted without this part down here. You really only need this because of this lip here, so that this will sit in here and then that'll sit on there like that. So let's get started here. I'll grab a cutting here, and I'm just gonna take off a little bit of the lower branches. I'll take that one off. The rest I'll just leave on there. And then all I do is I just tuck that in there like that. Make sure it's firm. Slip it in through here. Throw it in there. And rinse and repeat. So let's do one more. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm gonna take that one too. Actually, I'm gonna clean that up right there. Just like that. Boom. I'm gonna experiment a little bit with leaving a node below the water line, like this one. So see, that one had a node there. It's got another node there. This one won't have any nodes below the water line. So let's see which one does better. The last step here, while I'm grabbing some more clones up on the roof, I'm just gonna plug this in. Make sure that they are getting the water running over them. Just a little peek inside. Alright, I almost forgot one important step. You want to make sure that you record where you've got your varieties in that machine so you don't forget. So I've got Muscovich.
That's you doing your clones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you snip.
You take
How do you know where to snip?
So you take the sucker. So this is the main
Yeah.
line. This is an indeterminate variety. So as you follow the main stem up, you're gonna find a leaf and then a node where a sucker comes out.
Yeah.
So leaf, I just cut that one off. Here's a leaf, another sucker, leaf,
So it's
another
like a
sucker.
sub-branch of the
Yeah.
big branch.
But for indeterminates, typically you want to keep them single stemmed so they don't get too bushy. And so what you'll do is you'll come along and you'll cut off the suckers. See, this actually, that's not a sucker. That's a fruiting because it's got the flowers on it.
Yeah.
But this is a sucker right here. So I'm going to take...
you can tell because it doesn't have any flowers.
And because it's at the intersection between a branch, like a leaf and the main branch.
Cool.
So take that one, throw it in the water, and then that'll become a whole new plant.
Neat.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna do a little experiment. Let's take one of my extra tomato clones. I'm gonna throw it in the hydroponic sandbox. See what happens. I'm just gonna put it right here. Alright, we'll see what happens with that. Alright, now I'm gonna take some cuttings from a determinate variety. So I've got a paseo. Let's see. No, not that one. Oh, it's right here. It's a paseo variety. It's a paste tomato. So you can see the suckers on this aren't even necessarily suckers. They're already starting to flower here on one of them. So this is pretty experimental. I'm not even sure if it's gonna work, but let's give it a shot. Gonna go with this one right there. I'm just kind of thinning, taking cuttings, but also thinning at the same time. Let's see, this one right here looks good. It's got a bit of a hook to it, but it'll still be fine, hopefully. Grab this big one right here in the middle. Last thing I'm gonna do is just pour in a little bit of liquid rooting hormone. So I'll do that now. I'm just gonna put in about that much. And that's it. Let's hope they root. So it's July 7th. I just want to give you an update on the aeroponic cloning system here. Let's take a peek underneath, see if we got any roots. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm seeing almost 100% success rate as far as the tomatoes go. The basil still hasn't started growing roots yet, but I put that in later. It's these ones right there, but yeah, the system is definitely working. Alright, so I just want to follow up on the experiment that we did about whether it matters if you have a node below the water line or not. So I think it was these two plants here. Yeah, so this one has a node though. See one there. There was also a node there. Looks like there's root growth above and below the nodes. There doesn't seem to be any coming directly out of the node. The one that had no nodes at all is doing just great as well. So as far as tomatoes go, I don't think it matters if there's a node or not below the water line. Okay, and the other experiment that I did was seeing if this hydroponic sandbox would be able to clone a tomato. And I will admit, I haven't had it on a timer. I've just been manually watering it, so it's probably not the best conditions for a clone. This is what it looks like right there. It's looking a little wilted. This is just an experiment, so I don't really care about this one. And oh, there actually is 2 little roots. So I'm saying that's a success. Yes, the hydroponic sandbox could clone tomatoes.